All right, but first, Grammy winner Jon Secada has enjoyed over 2 decades of international acclaim, the music industry as a recording artist and a producer, but through it all, he remains tied to his native Miami.
It's just another day without you.
With 20 million albums sold in his near 30-year-long career, singer-songwriter Jon Secada has won a worldwide legion of fans. But that journey began right here in South Florida under the tutelage of Gloria and Emilio Estefan, who he worked for as a backup vocalist, later co-writing the hit song Coming Out of the Dark.
Coming out of the dark, finally see the light now, and it's shining on me.
Like so many before him, Secada came to Miami with his family after fleeing Fidel Castro's Cuban regime in the 1960s, eventually attending Hialeah High and then the University of Miami's Frost School of Music. His latest album is a tribute to those Cuban roots, a love letter of sorts to Cuban icon and big band singer Beny Morè.
No sé explicarme qué pasó.
And as he hopes to make a splash with this new project, some of Secada's most impactful work is done away from the microphone. In 2016, Secada was honored as a Humanitarian of the Year by the Muhammad Ali Foundation. He also teamed up with the Dade County Police Benevolent Association to record the song Line of Duty as a way of promoting good relations and respect between law enforcement and the citizens they protect.
And joining me now, fresh off his performance on PBS's Soundstage, is the one and only Jon Secada. Welcome to your South Florida.
Thank you for having me.
This is a real treat for me because I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, great to have you.
Yes.
So let's talk about this new album.
Yes.
You have not had an album in a while. Now we're doing this where you're honoring Beny Morè, who's got an incredible body of work. What's the inspiration? Why?
I have been wanting to do this project for a long time. He's an icon, somebody that's so influential in so many ways, especially dealing with the history of tropical music and what he meant to a style of singing and a flavor of that deals with what became the modern style eventually of tropical singing today. It all started with Beny, and I grew up listening to his songs through my parents, and his music was kind of like a staple for me as a kid. And so as a musician, I always wanted to find a way to pay tribute to him if I could, and the opportunity came up now.
And how did you find this great band that you're working with?
Yeah, the band was introduced to me by, I knew the band leader, Charlie Sepulveda, but the actual band, which I didn't know they had just an ongoing band in Puerto Rico, was brought to my attention by the producer of the record, Julio Bagué, that works for Pure Music, which is that's my first set of partners really comes through them. Pure Music was the original publishing company that signed Beny Morè to be a songwriter. Right. And Julio told me about it. Charlie had this working band that we could work with, which really was very close to kind of the vibe that I wanted for the record to have, the kind of same feel as with if Beny had recorded a record today with a whole band in the studio, me singing behind a isolation booth, and the arrangements too, which came from a tremendous arranger that actually worked with Beny when Beny came to the States as a musician.
That's so cool.
So it was amazing. Ray Santos. I mean, there was a lot of pieces that really kind of brought this record together in a way that was very organic, very real. For me, the integrity of the project was really important.
And the reaction's been really good thus far, correct? People
yes,
really
it's been fantastic. And the first single, which is out already, is a duet that we created with Beny's voice.
That's neat.
His most famous bolero, Como Fue, and so it's and of course that we did a PBS special.
Yeah, of course.
That's a Soundstage PBS special that's been a part of the process for this record, and we're very, very excited with everything.
Lately, obviously, immigration's been a big subject in our country. Mm-hmm. You recently did an interview talking about being an immigrant and what that has meant to your life, and you went back and talked about your Cuban roots and coming to Miami. Talk a little bit about that and what that has meant to you as a singer, as a songwriter.
Yeah, I grew up, I'm a product of this community as a Cuban American, as a Hispanic American at this point, as an Afro-Cuban American, even more, I guess, to be more specific. And I love the fact that my roots and my traditions are very important to me. My history, I know exactly what my history is all about, and my parents went through to leave Cuba. But I'm an immigrant to begin with, and before becoming a naturalized citizen. And so that's again those roots and who I am as a Cuban, means a lot to me. And then of course being raised in this community, which is just such a the Hispanic roots now attached to what South Florida is all about are so important.
Yeah.
It's such an integral part of who we are as a community.
Yeah.
So I'm proud. I'm proud to have all those elements that are a part of my life.
Well, we're proud of you, and you give back a lot to this community. Tell us a little bit about that song you were doing with the PBA, the Dade PBA.
Yes, I was approached by the Police Benevolent Association to do a song, to write a song, perform a song that kind of dealt with the issues, some of the issues that we're dealing with, unfortunately, the sensitive issues that we've dealt with over the last few years. That deal with that kind of disconnection between what the police department means to us, at the same time the challenges that exist for there to be more communication, more of more empathy, sympathy that deals with all the parties involved, between what the police needs to do, but also the necessity for the police department to be sensitive to what's going on with community issues that kind of create that disconnection and that creates a friction. And we came up with a song that really kind of encompasses all those feelings. At the same time, really appreciating and knowing the necessity of what the police department does and how to make things better from this point forward, knowing the challenges that we have to put up with.
Right, and doing it through music, which is just such a beautiful way to bring people together, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And Line of Duty, the song is fantastic, and the video actually is being introduced this weekend.
There's so much to check out with you. Line of Duty, we've got the new album.
Yes.
So, and that drops on
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
To Beny Morè with love.
Do I get to keep this one?
Of course you can.
Okay, fabulous. You have to sign it for me. Jon
Absolutely.
Secada, great to have you with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Best of luck with the new album.
My pleasure. Thank
Excited for you.